This is your winter rundown 157. Let's get it. All right, welcome back everyone to Rundown 157 this week. This time we're going to be talking about Frieren Season 2, Episode 3 and 4. We're going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Culling game arcs, Episode 5 and 6, and also Hell's Paradise Season 2, Episode 4 and 5.
Hell's Paradise?
Yeah.
That's a new one. When did we start watching that?
Hairs, I don't even know what the hell I said, but anyways, Jugoku, something. I don't know what the hell the next part is.
Oh my god!
But anyways,
what are we even doing now?
That's the Japanese word, nah. Jugoku or something like that. I just don't know the next part. But yeah. Anyways, before we get started, we always say, best way to support us is make sure you go rate the podcast, tell your friends about us, all that good stuff. Linktree.com/anime Degens. We're putting the rundown videos on YouTube now as well. If you want to see the videos, make sure you go subscribe to us and like our videos, comment, something, say Nom is cute this time. I know we always say Dan is cute. Say Nom's cute. But yeah, I feel like we got a pretty good show today. And by the way, I know I said that the Degeys, the voting was going to be closed, a couple days ago, but I'm leaving it open for a few more days because we had to reschedule. So y'all have a few more days to vote.
Now's
so
your
make
chance.
Yeah,
get in there, do it now before it's too late.
Yeah, pick your favorites. You gotta represent for the audience, the listeners, the community. Because sometimes we pick weird shit. You gotta
sometimes.
Yeah. So
if we left it up to you, we'd just talk about slice of life and romance all day. What are you talking about?
I'd be happy with that.
I know you would.
But that's why we come together with the DGs and we all, vote together, stuff like that. So should be a fun time for next week. So just make sure y'all get y'all's votes in. That way, you might be able to change the tide of the listener votes. So speaking of slice of life and chill times, you want to get on to Frieren, Nom?
Yeah, why not? At least let's get into a good one.
Yeah, so far this season, I've really enjoyed it, Nom. I ain't gonna lie. So it's been more my speed. Even though Frieren, everything that Frieren has done so far has been my speed, but like this is like really up my alley, you know what I mean? So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you and Dan ain't vibing with it as much. So I'm kind of curious to know if y'all are or not, So
But I'll save my response for the after, times or at the end.
Yeah, for after we talk about the slice of life moment.
I want to leave you in suspense of this one now.
Yeah. I'm afraid.
Here's what you guys can do if you're listening. You can comment below before you hear my answer to let us know if you thought if I liked it or not. That's how we can get them to interact with this one.
There's a better chance for Nom liking this stuff than Dan. So just putting it out there, y'all. He was a really big fan of Let's Play, Love is War. There's a chance,
He's not wrong.
So
okay. There is a chance.
Bigger than Dan's. So but with this episode, we're gonna talk about episode 3, Somewhere She'd Like. And to start it off, if you're kind of wondering what this episode is actually about, it's about onsen. which means hot springs. And who doesn't love one of those actually? Like I would really enjoy to go to a hot springs. Even though I've never been fortunate enough to visit one, I don't even know where there would be one. Have you ever been to one?
Not a hot spring, no. I've been to hot tubs.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what we have around here. I don't know if there's like spring like
I don't think there would be any near either of us.
it
Probably
would. It's more
maybe
towards
like
like volcanoes and stuff, right? Like
maybe
tropical
out in like the
settings, right?
Utah area. I'd imagine maybe like Hawaii would have a few,
Oh yeah,
but
I'm sure Hawaii's got quite a few. Mm, I wonder if like I'm thinking like up north has some too. You know, like in Canada and stuff. So
I
that would make
don't think
sense.
so.
You don't think so?
No,
Have
I don't
some
think so.
good old hot springs up in that snow.
I don't think they produce enough heat for them to be considered hot
Well,
springs.
it comes
They
from the
probably got cold.
ground.
They probably got ice springs up there.
Well, that's what Alaska does now. Come on now. But yeah, I thought this was a fun episode. Like basically the first half is all about hot springs. And they get to the first village and unfortunately the hot spring is dried up. You know, they're not able to use it and they don't have a hot tub like me and Nam has been to just, uh to get in. So they decide to all go make a side trek. They're gonna go up the mountains to the secret hot spring, which is pretty cool. Like I thought that was a pretty cool sidebar. Especially since I'm pretty sure like Frieren wasn't really wanting to do it, and Fern, I don't think she was really sold on it either. But Stark, he just
S-
really wanted to go.
Stark was adamant about this
Yeah,
one, and that was like, okay, that makes it really interesting here. Why does he, of all people, really want to go?
yeah, because
Is he just trying
usually
to be pervy here, or
he's like, I want to.
what?
He's like, oh boy, I'm gonna get me a shot. See,
Let me see them in their bikinis.
let me see Fern again. Let me get beat up again. I mean, but I thought it was a pretty cool time. It's one of those things that Frieren does pretty well. Is like they take these little side trips like this and make it like actually entertaining. Because like on the way up to the mountain hot springs or whatever, like we have Frieren reminiscing about like her time coming up here the first time with Himmel and Eisen and Heiter and all of them, and they're just walking along, and we notice her look at like a tree stump or whatever with something in front of it, and she just nonchalantly mentions a monster. And it kind of slipped me. Like I didn't really catch it. I was just like, "Oh, that's odd. Why'd she say monster?" And then it just happens to appear. It's a huge three-headed lizard dragon, and I I was as shocked as Stark and Fern. Not gonna lie. Like I didn't think. I figured that they would have took care of it back then. I don't know. I guess they didn't. I guess they just ran. I'm not sure.
Classic Himmel the hero. Picking and choosing his battles as always.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. How she just like barely mentions it, casually mentions it, and then it just happens. So, but I just want to take this moment to say, poor Stark. I know I said poor Stark a lot last episode. I just want to say it again because I really feel for this man. He is being mistreated, honestly, by the party. Uh, like Frieren literally tells him, "Okay, Stark, you need to run." And nothing else. And he just starts running and he's being used as bait basically. And he doesn't know any of the plan. He's just running around trying to survive, not to be eaten, while Frieren and Fern is up in the sky where the lizard cannot reach. And they're just like chilling. They're just casually talking and making a plan. And I love it.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it's a good thing that Stark is very physically gifted because he's constantly dodging every single attack with ease. But
Mhm.
like, when's the abuse gonna stop against him?
Yeah, poor dude. Like I said, I feel so bad for him sometimes, but like a lot of the times
Sometimes,
he puts himself in these situations sometimes. I
no,
ain't gonna
fuck
lie.
that, dude. Justice for Stark. All right,
Justice for sure. All right, I'll get behind it. He deserves that. But
it's the least he deserves.
but yeah, we got up there. We got up there. They finally defeat the monster, right? Which was pretty cool. Um, I don't even think we got to really see it. Like Frieren just does like a spell and just obliterates it or whatever. No big deal, right? Uh,
Yeah, just some stupid super advanced magic.
yeah. It just took her about 5, or so minutes to do it while Stark was trying not to die. So it's fine. It's whatever. Um, But yeah, they get going. They get up to the hot springs. They finally find them at the top of the mountains, and we kind of see why Stark really wanted to come up here. And I thought it was pretty cool to have him say why it was. And he was like, "It's because the visuals. Like you sit down in it and you look out, and like it's so beautiful. Plus." The biggest thing is that they could enjoy it together because it's only like ankle deep. So like, there didn't have to be a separation, like girls didn't have to go first, boys didn't have to go second, all that stuff. They could do it together and enjoy the scene together, the sun setting together. I thought that was a nice touch for this, I guess for like, relationship building, I guess, party building. So,
Well, not to mention, he also calls out specifically because his master had been there and mentioned it previously.
mhm.
That was another reason why he wanted to go there too, which I thought was just another nice touch because once again, it's just tying back to Frieren's old party.
Yeah. This
You
time it
know
wasn't Himmel, it was, Eisen. So, uh
exactly.
the party has its way, the old party has its ways of like influencing everybody that they meet, everybody that they have a part of touching their lives or whatever. So, it's pretty cool to see. Um but I have a question now. Do you think the hot spring was worth it? Do you think everyone thought that the hot spring was worth it, or do you think it was just Stark?
No, I think if I had to guess, I think Stark and Frieren probably enjoyed it the most.
You don't think
Uh,
Fern did?
I think Fern enjoyed it, but not anywhere near as much as Stark and Frieren did. I
Yeah.
think Stark enjoyed it because it was something that he set out to do and he was able to accomplish it. And I
Mhm.
think for Frieren, it was just really comforting for her to be able to sit there and reminisce about her old party one last time again
And Himmel.
at that place.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so
So
too. I think Fern did. I think Fern liked it too as well. So
I
she's a
think
sucker for like the sunset shit. You know what I mean?
yes, but here's my thing. I think Fern liked it because it was pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Of
And that was
course.
it. It didn't
Yeah.
have as much of an impact on her as like say
She didn't have no
again
connection.
Stark or Freerun.
Yeah, she didn't have a connection to it, so she had less of a
Yeah,
reason to
she
like it.
she
So
liked it,
yeah,
but she wasn't necessarily, ready to go to it or set against it
yeah.
in
But
that manner.
but after this, she will have a connection to it because it was such a good time in their eyes. I think. Well, while they're sitting there at the hot springs, um, I was asking myself like they started struggling going down, and apparently going down was a whole lot worse than going up. And I was just wondering to myself like why didn't they just float down the mountain? Because we know that they can do that. They floated that wagon and shit, remember? A long time ago.
Yeah.
So why didn't they just float down the mountain? Did they just like hoofing it, I guess? I don't know.
Change up the adventure every time, you know? You can't always rely on the same old tricks, then everything gets boring.
Stark needs a break, bro.
I know he does, Tyler. I'm with you on that one. Okay? But it's not my call.
True, true. It's not our call. Poor Stark. Um,
Like I
well,
said, justice for Stark.
they leave that mountain, of course, and they go along their way again, and they actually arrive at the next city. And the hot spring in this city is actually open for business. And Frieren is definitely taking advantage of that. We hear Stark and Fern just saying that she's there every day for a majority of the day. She only leaves to go to to go to the magical shops. That way she can hunt for the grimoires and shit. And like she literally just goes back to the hot springs every single day. I thought that was pretty funny. But on the side note, this leaves Fern wanting attention, needing attention actually. And so Stark decides to give her some attention in the form of a date.
I was gonna say, you better not be leaving that lingering for too much longer. People are gonna assume.
Yeah. So he decides to play a joke on her or like get her back is what he said. Because he didn't think that she would like agree to it, obviously. So he was like, well, if you're needing attention that bad, let's just go on a date tomorrow. And she's just like, okay, and just walks out and leaves.
Though it was how she said it though. So that was the thing, right? She was like she was so fired up before that. And he was like, "All right, let's go on a date." And she was like, "Okay."
I think it
What?
shocked her. I think it shocked her. I don't think
Yeah,
she ever thought that those words would come out of his mouth. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, like, I'm shocked too, though, is the thing.
I mean, that's what she was. She was wanting. I think she was wanting something to that extent, but she wasn't expecting that far out there. You know what I mean? Like she was hinting that she wanted to spend time, doing something, but she just didn't expect it to be an actual date. Uh, so I thought that was funny. This, like I always say, like this show, like it may not be like a comedy, but it's definitely like funny in its own ways. Like it knows how to make us laugh by just doing the shit that it does. You know what I mean?
It drives really, really well at the human element,
Hmm.
is what it is.
Yeah, especially playing Stark is like the joke, kind of like Stark after he asked her for the date and she said yes. He was tore up. He was tore up all night and everything. Like he was just so tore up. He was like, "I'm gonna die. She's gonna kill me," and like that's generally was his worries. And then he was like asking for advice on what to do, and she's just like, "Do you know who you're asking?" It's me. Have you lost your mind? Yeah, I thought that shit was so funny. So, um, but yeah, uh, Fruin actually ends up taking him out and like, I guess leads him around, showing him like good spots for dates. I guess, things to do or whatever. So
Spots that Fern would like and
yeah.
things that she likes. And no, this was actually a really big brain moment by Stark because it he really wanted to make this date really special for Fern. And so that's why he was like so wrapped up in it, right? And so caught up trying to rack his brain. He couldn't figure out what she liked and where she would like to go and all that stuff. And so Freeren's known Fern a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Who better to ask than Freeren?
Exactly. Even though Fruin's a little bit iffy at times and advice and stuff, like she's very ignorant. I'll say that. But I feel like it was pretty solid advice, like that she gave out, like pretty solid places that she picked. Um, Like I thought it was pretty good. So
Yeah,
I like it wasn't the usual Frieren that we normally see. It was actually like good shit. So I'm proud of her.
me too.
Um,
Me too.
but that was pretty much the end of this episode. Do you have anything else to talk about, Nam, that you want to talk about?
Not in this one.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move on to episode 4 then, called
I'm okay with that.
"Other People's Homes." And we was talking about the date. Now it's time for the date. So I want to talk about how do we think Stark did on leading the date? Like is there anything that he did wrong? Did you think? Did he do things right? Like what do you think, Nam? You want to go first?
I think that he did the best job that he could.
Yeah. Okay.
Things may not have gone exactly the way how he had hoped. I feel like Stark is a very hopeful individual, despite how
He
he
has to
might act
be.
some other times.
He has to be.
That doesn't mean anything, Tyler, and you know that. Um, but at the same time, I feel like he's gonna do something to mess it up at the end, in typical Stark fashion.
That does seem something like something Stark would do. Um,
Obviously, we know how it ends, so
yeah, yeah,
this is just going into it. This is what I thought would happen.
yeah. I think going into it, I thought that it would be kind of like a perfect date. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of
Okay,
glad.
hang on. It's what is supposed to happen and not what you want to happen, Tyler. There's a
So,
difference.
but the thing is, usually in these situations, it's pretty near like a it's almost like a perfect date usually. So I'm glad that Frieren actually like like made their date happen like it did. You know what I mean? Because we could tell like their vibes was off. You know what I mean? Uh, but like you said, I think he did the best that he could do. Like he just doesn't know any better. Like literally, he's probably never been on a date before, and he's only thought about like battling. Only thought about being a tank. Like that's it, and you can actually tell that that's what his like mindset is or whatever. Like he asked Frieren what to do, and he done what she said to do, but he just does. He lacks initiative, I guess. He lacks context on what to do when he gets there. You know what I mean? He's kind of like Frieren in a way. Like she wouldn't know what to do if it hit her in the head. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
fair.
I mean, it's the
That's
same
fair.
thing. So, but I mean, there's several things he did wrong. I feel like, you know, he didn't dress up. He messed up with the necklace. I thought. He said it nothing looked really good or whatever. Or everything looked ordinary. I feel like she enjoyed that necklace and she wanted him to say it was pretty or something. She even looked back at it. So he just doesn't get those clues.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say, "Oh, look, that looks really pretty. That would look really pretty on you," And he's instead he was like, "Oh, everything looks ordinary. Maybe we should go check out another shop."
Doesn't hear it looks magical enough for you.
Yeah, so I don't know. He messed up a few times, but I don't blame him for that. He's just ignorant, like Farron is. So
Mhm.
um, but like I like the end of it. When they was up on the scenery view or whatever, and like he basically fessed up and he was like, I didn't know. So I asked Furin, and like I'm glad that they had that little heart to heart because that actually felt like a moment of growth between themselves. So
Yeah, and I think ultimately too, with especially how it ended, right? Because even Fern admitted, she was like, "This didn't really feel like you,
hmm
Stark," and he was like, "I'm sorry. It's just I
I
got
don't
so
know.
nervous. I wanted to make sure that this went well for both of us, and the only way I could do that was by asking Freerin, and I think that ultimately too, like, she took that as a sign, like, okay,
He tried.
he really does care about me because like, yeah, these weren't his original thoughts, but the one thing he wanted to make sure of was is that anywhere that we went was somewhere that I liked.
Yeah.
And that
Like,
really spoke volumes to her, I feel. And they
mhm.
really did a great job of showing that, and just the subtle facial expressions, right? Like how she was so upset at the beginning and then all of a sudden she goes to being like just slightly happy at the end, and even the comment that they make afterwards.
Yeah. It was kind of it was pretty good. Like they always say, it's not what you give them, it's the thought that counts, right? And that's like the whole thing here. It's the thought that counts. Stark tried. He took it, like he tried his best. He even asked people because he didn't know himself. Just in my opinion, I think he asked the wrong person probably a little bit. Which I mean, she gave solid advice. It's just you know he just don't know anything. She don't know anything, and they was just going off of what they did know. So, which isn't enough.
That is definitely not enough.
um, but overall, it was a pretty nice little date. I didn't think we was gonna get something like this. I thought that like the ballroom dance or whatever was about the closest we was gonna get to something like that. But I enjoyed it. But enough talk about the slice of life and the dating and stuff like that. Um, almost. Did you enjoy this stuff? You said you tell me later. I think this is a nice time for that.
I did enjoy this one.
Okay, I
They
like
did a
that.
really good job of going about it in, again, like, the nice subtle way. It wasn't the ideal date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think really helped play into the fact that I enjoyed it as much as I did.
Okay,
Um, Otherwise, it would have really felt cliche, and I don't think that I would have enjoyed that as much.
I love that. Do you think Dan put this on 2 times speed or skipped
I
ahead?
think he just skipped it entirely.
We'll never
Like
know.
he checked in on certain areas and he was like, "Yep, nope, nope, not liking this. Nope,
A
garbage,
date,
boring.
a
Nope.
date.
Okay. Hey,
Let's
I'm
skip to the
done.
next
This
episode.
was a great episode, guys. I finished it in 3 seconds."
Yeah. This is the perfect time to ask the audience. What do you think Dan did? Did he skip ahead or did he watch it and like it? Let us know.
Y'all know Dan better than this, so y'all better say the right thing.
Yeah. So with that being said, like I said, let's we're done with the sauce of life stuff for now. They finally reached the northern checkpoint. Um, the one that you have to have the first class mage to with you in order to pass the gates or whatever. We've been traveling all this time. We finally got to this point. Uh, and like as soon as they get past this point, they start like getting attacked over and over by monsters. And like this happened for 3 days and 3 nights, and they basically had to like be aware at all times of the day. So it wasn't getting much sleep. And so I'm just curious, like, does this actually do a good job portraying just how dangerous the North is, that you actually need a first class mage to travel farther than that point?
Um, I mean, it's definitely been a challenge, but I don't think necessarily that you need a first class mage, because I'm not saying that Fern's not strong, so don't come at me about that. What I think though is, if you have a strong enough party composition and everyone plays their role right, you could probably get through it just fine.
So you're saying that you don't need a first class mage if you had a good enough party.
Well, let me ask you this. What's so different about Fern now that she's a first class mage than when she
Well,
wasn't?
I'm not specifically talking about Fern, I guess.
Yes, but
I'm talking
that's
about
what
the
I'm
I'm talking about the conditions that require a first class mage to travel. Like, if they did a like, I guess if they did a good job showing just how dangerous it is going forward.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that like, what if this is Himmel, the heroes party? Would they really need a first class mage? Probably not.
Frieren, if you're excluding Frieren or with Frieren, because I think Frieren probably was a first class mage back then.
I don't think you lose your first class mage status, though, is the thing.
No, I mean Frieren's obviously been a first class mage forever. She just, Siri is, very biased, and she she took it out on Frieren. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
but hear me out. What if Frieren never got her certification, right?
true, and like that's the thing. Like, how would they know? You know what I mean? They wouldn't be able to
E-
pass. So at this point.
exactly.
Like if Fern didn't get her, her first class mage, they wouldn't have been able to pass that point. Even though Furin's like the greatest mage in the world or whatever right now, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly my point. So
but
like I don't necessarily think that first class mage is going to be the make or break past
oh
that
yeah,
point, but I
yeah,
do think that
and
for the average party, you would definitely need somebody of a skill of that level.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. Like you're not gonna, so you're not gonna just survive if you have a first class mage, but I think your chances go way up. Like if it's just two normal people with a first class mage, I think that the first class mage is gonna struggle, you know.
Yeah, they're gonna
Uh
be doing like literally all of the carrying.
yeah, and like there's a chance that you probably won't make it if it's just a first class mage accompanying you and that's it. Unless they're like Frieren, but like even I think that even like this, like what we see in this like lead up to the village, I think it does a good job of showing that like even Frieren kind of like she would probably struggle a little bit having to do this by herself, but thankfully she had Fern and Stark too. So uh
Yeah.
but yeah. Next place we like they keep on going obviously, and like I said, they ain't got much sleep, and they actually find a village that offers them a place to rest, because they haven't been getting much sleep, like I said, and all they got to do is kill a demon that's been terrorizing the people on the roadside. And I think this was like actually the first real fight of the season. Um, and I just want to talk about real quick, like how we think it went for our party overall. Uh, like in my opinion, I thought like they kind of got worked. Like they kind of got shit on there for a little while. They were struggling really, really hard because like this demon was actually like a very capable demon that was smart kind of, and um it knew who to attack and when to attack. Like it wouldn't allow Frieren to go up, Frieren and Fern to go up like normal while it's focusing on Stark. It like turned to her and actually targeted her or whatever. So I thought this was pretty cool because like this marks like the spot where like it shows us that hey, this shit's serious now. This ain't like peon shit. This is actually shit that we have to actually try on, because if
Yeah,
we don't, we're gonna die.
this I think did a much better job of really showcasing like, okay, you really do need somebody that's a first class mage
Yeah,
to really make it past this point.
and and to go off your point, kinda, even though Fern is a first class mage, if they didn't have Frieren there, like if it was just her and Stark
They
and
were
she's a
dead.
first class mage, she would have died. And Stark would have died because they wouldn't been able to handle that. Because they just don't, even though that they've got experience fighting, they just wouldn't have they don't have enough experience to fight something as smart as that. Whereas Frieren, she's been there and done that. She probably could have done it by herself. It would have been hard, but she probably could have done it. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that was a pretty cool uh little chance to get to see just how tough this world is, after a certain point. So, and that brings me to my last point is I feel like going forward, I kind of feel like they need another member to the party. You know, I feel like they need four. I feel like three is gonna get them in trouble sometimes, and I feel like they're missing one. You know what I mean? Do you agree or no?
I do. No, I'm glad that you brought that up too, because they have two mages, right? And one of them is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to the offensive capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the other one is really, really good at growing and learning and using buffs right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that they almost only have one offensive character, which is Stark. So now you have Stark, who's literally the tank as well as the offense.
Yeah. That's usually
And
not like you could see it struggle in this fight. So
yes, not to mention you can't always rely on just him to be able to handle all of the problems that you're going to be coming up against.
yeah, what if they fight two of those things at the same time, or even stronger opponents? You know what I mean? Like, how are they
I would
gonna handle
definitely
that?
wager the stronger opponents too first.
Yeah. So, like, how do they handle that with just three people? I feel like they need at least another person, and I feel like it would make sense story wise because like that's what the main party had too. They had four people. So, um,
It's just
I
a matter of realistically though, who do they find and bring in?
yeah. Do you think? I think it's gonna happen. Do you think it's gonna be like a Heiter type person, like priest type person, or you think it's gonna be a hero type person?
I don't think it's gonna be hero type person because
You
like
think Frieren's kind of that hero person in this extent?
no, I think we're at an age where heroes don't need to exist right now.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna have heroes per se, but I think we are gonna find somebody else who is going to be probably connected to one of the previous members in a different way.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Cause like who's Fern attached to again?
Heiter, the priest,
Okay.
and Stark was Eisen, and Frieren is kind of Himmel, I guess you could say, right?
Well, no. No, no, no. I think we will actually get somebody who might have connections to Himmel.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe like somebody that's part of his like family line, not like a direct,
and
relative,
and have like an
but
attacker, I guess, like a offensive type person that's not like a hero type or whatever.
yeah, maybe like he's trying to be a hero type even though heroes aren't necessarily needed and so he carries himself really cocky like.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what happens. I'm like, I'd be willing to bet we're gonna get a fourth person sometime and soon. You know what I mean? So they have to, So
I mean, they don't have to, but it
it
would be
just
really cool.
yeah, it just feels like they should. I guess you can say. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for Frieren. Wasn't a whole lot. It was fun to watch though. Do you have anything else for it though?
No, not for Frieren. I
Okay.
think you did a pretty good job of covering it. I mean, not to mention like it's a pretty slow show. It's not like a whole lot happens, right? So it's not like we have to really talk and dive too much into a lot of it, just some of the major points,
Mm-hmm.
because the rest of it is the charm.
Yeah, it's the vibes, and it does a wonderful job at that.
Does it ever?
Mm-hmm. Well, you want to get us on to Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, I mean, the vibes are going to be a little bit different from here on out, guys, so please bear with us.
Yep.
Um, but I promise you, it's going to be a good time all the same. And we're going to start it off with episode 5, Passion. And we get started off with the birth of Panda, as well as the criticizing of Yaga, and kind of get an explanation for some of his powers.
Yeah, which kind of flew over my head for the most part. All I seen was like weird looking cat things and creatures and stuff coming to life. And I thought it was cool.
That, that's the Tyler way. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have it any other way with you, Tyler.
Don't expect more.
But no, so they're talking about how they're probably like trying to get him locked up and sentenced to death unless he reveals how he made his powers, because they finally realize that Panda is actually alive and he's just a cursed being.
Yeah.
Um, but they don't know how, and they're concerned that he could have an army of his own. Just imagine an army of cursed energy beings.
It's
That would be terrifying.
especially if they was as good as Panda. I'm not saying Panda's like the best, but Panda is pretty like, competent. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, Panda's pretty strong. I'll
yeah.
give you that.
So it'd
Um,
be pretty interesting to see something like that happen. I don't think the little cat things and stuff have it in them, but you never know, man.
I don't think we need to focus too much on the little cat things. To be fair,
uh,
but it was also kind of like a sad scene too, because like Yaga's just he's really upset. He doesn't want to really go too much into things. We see a few people in this moment, right? And like the cat thing, for instance. Um, come to find out that was actually just some little boy. Did you catch that?
yeah, yeah. I caught that, but he was talking a bunch of gibberish too about how it is the boy, but it's not the boy, or something like that. And then he ended with saying like, it almost felt like since they seen the thing that they would have to die or something. That's the vibes I got. I don't know if that's true. They didn't say that, but that's the vibes that I got. So,
No, the vibes I got were you guys can't take him away from this place.
oh, you can just come here and see it. Okay.
You can live here with him if you want, but he's not allowed to leave this place because it's also underneath Tengen's protection, right?
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. 'Cause I didn't get that part. But that's why smarter people are here. So
That's why you have us.
yeah,
Yes. Um but no, from there we start to get into a few more things like the plot to trap Yaga as well as how he creates the puppets. And one of the biggest things here that I want to kind of point out, it was one thing I talked about last time, but the influence of Gojo. The influence of Gojo is still felt even today with how people are starting to lash out just because he's no longer there.
yeah. I mean, they know he's not there, so they know they can get away with more. Probably,
They specifically called out how without him here, now they can now they can act on this and take him out,
Yeah.
which was kind of messed up.
I mean, that's just how Gojo rose. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Not that the fact that like everyone else was willing to just start killing everyone else that's a sorcerer because he's gone.
I mean, he was literally like the thread holding it all together. I feel like, and they're doing a good job showing it this season, and even like some of the last season too. So,
Yeah, yeah, I'll give you that. Um, at the end of this though, we do see Yaga finally dies, and it was to the actual headmaster of the other school. whose
Yeah.
name is Gakuganji.
Yeah, it's the old man who looks like every other old man in, these types of anime. Like Bleach and Hunter x Hunter, they both have the same old man.
Maki's dad.
uh, but yeah. It's been a while since we've seen him though, right? Like ever since like Volcano Head in like first season, correct?
Yeah, it was pretty close to the games that they had between the schools.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So
But anyways, he ends up killing Yaga, and Yaga then reveals how he creates the spirits, which is he takes the information from the body to create the soul information, creates three of them, and then has them observe each other. And after so long, they actually become the soul, which allows it to produce its own cursed energy, right?
yeah, I'm glad you explained that because what I got out of that whole situation is that it takes three souls plus, the main soul to create an identical thing or a person like that cat with the boy's personality or whatever, I thought it took like four souls to create that. So I'm glad you cleared that up a little bit.
Yep, nope, it was three souls that are instructed to observe each other, and then they can actually create their own consciousness and being from that, which allows them to actually create their own cursed energy, which is how Panda exists, right?
Yeah.
Um, but then Gakuganji is like, why did you tell me this now? Why didn't you just say something earlier and save your own life? And he said, this is a curse on you.
Damn, you got him.
Curse the man to literally live with the guilt that he killed him.
hmm
That is cold.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting little segment, I guess you can say. Full of like crazy stuff happening. Like I didn't expect that to happen, honestly. Um, but hey, here we are.
Yep.
Another thing I didn't expect to happen was Panda, like being okay, to an extent about, him dying, him getting killed. I would have thought that he would be more enraged, I guess.
More upset about it.
Yeah. So that kind of took me by surprise, but maybe that's just the panda way. I don't know. Maybe they're more like relaxed. Like maybe his personality is more relaxed. I don't know.
Could be. You know what else is a very Panda thing to do?
What?
Cry.
True, true. He did cry.
Pandas
So
do cry.
yeah.
Just remember that, chat. Pandas do cry.
I didn't cry though. I just want to make that known. I did not cry this episode.
Wow.
So
One time you haven't cried.
yeah. So you should be
Is it
proud of
because
me.
you expect everyone dying in this one? Is that what it is? You already know that they're all gonna die, so you don't bother mourning?
Pretty much. Like I want people to die in this. The more
Damn.
people, the better. I was
He
ho-
says slaughter them
I was
all.
hoping Panda would show up and just like murk that old dude.
Fuck you, old man.
But it didn't happen. I almost cried over that. It just didn't happen. So GG's.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't get your wish.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Maybe next time.
hmm
Maybe next time. Um, Tyler, rule number one.
There's no saying something about you never talk about something that that's secret. like maybe perhaps a fight club or even drifting on, illegal drifting on the road. You're not supposed to talk about that either, right?
Oh yes, yes, but you had it the first time with we don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Um, so we're not gonna do that, guys. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna talk a little bit about it.
Best part of this
Um,
episode, we can't skip it, not. Well, I mean, it's yeah.
the part that happens afterwards is the best part. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
don't jump the gun too
yeah.
much. No, so this part was really cool, and I'm wondering if they were fed the information ahead of time that somebody died, and that's why they were able to bluff their way in.
Oh, I'm
Um,
100% sure of that. I think that the intel, before they got sent, they was told that stuff. Leave it to Megumi. He's out here
more than
cooking.
likely,
So,
yeah. Um, but aside from that, they finally get in there, and turns out that they're being watched. There's security cameras everywhere,
mm-hmm.
and Yuji is the one that's picked to fight. And so we get to the fight.
Hell
There's
yeah, that's
only
what we
there's
love.
only there's only two rules though, Tyler. There's only two rules. No running, no curse techniques.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, like a fight club like this, like an underground fight club, that they would like pander to the audience so much, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're not there, who's gonna watch?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, true. Like most of the times we see like situations like this, like fight clubs, illegal fight clubs, we ain't dealing with like cursed techniques and stuff. We're dealing with like just bare knuckle, fist to fist shit, because that's what we
Throwing
normally see.
hands.
But this ain't normal, this is a world where, you know, um, it's not normal. So I like how they like brought it down to a human level, I guess.
Yeah, same.
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, too, uh, the situation's kind of complicated because, like, realistically, how are you gonna explain a fucking walking panda?
Yeah,
Surprise, guys! Yuji's opponent is actually Panda.
which was I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, considering that Panda is a student of Jujutsu High, and I thought Hikari hated Jujutsu High.
I think he does, but then again, like they're the same year, like their third year, so maybe he has some like rapport with with him like Panda, you know what I mean? So
I mean, he fucking better if he's gonna be letting Panda just hang out like that.
yeah, I mean, but there's obviously like Panda can't do what he came there to do because like he obviously knows Panda, so
Yeah,
but
that really does put a huge block on that.
I like I said, I thought this was the coolest, the best part of this episode, because like Panda was his opponent, and like I loved how they like was fighting, fake fighting. They started doing all that shit. It was kind of entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. Like I really enjoyed watching them, even though I knew that. Like I thought that the little annotations or whatever, it was like tap, at the end.
Yeah.
I thought all that stuff was pretty cool. I thought the way they handled it was really fun. WWE should definitely take notes because this is the type of shit we need. If they can make it happen, probably can't though. Uh,
Yeah, I think if they would have been able to figure that out, they probably would have done it a long time ago, Tyler.
yeah.
Just saying.
Do you think so? In the beginning of this, like Megumi was the one that was supposed to go into the Fight Club. Do you think that he would have made it to the top, or do you think that that was all a bluff, like trying to get them to like, pick Itadori instead?
I think he was doing that specifically because they chose Itadori at first, and he wanted them to like
Yeah,
feel confident in their choice.
yeah, because I don't think that Megumi would be able to make it win it all without his curse testing technique, he'd probably get shit on. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't think so, but at the same time, Megami's definitely much better suited in other areas
Yeah,
than in that ring. Like, if you had to rely on Megami or on Yuji to fight, Yuji all day. If you had to rely on one of them to infiltrate and try and figure out where an enemy is, Megami all day.
exactly. Also,
So,
really liked one other moment. At the end, Panda, after he fell down and lost or whatever, he was like, "The SPCA won't stand for this," and like I think Maki was right. He's kind of dumb.
kind of.
Yeah, he's kind of dumb, man. Then you got Yuji over
No,
here. He's
no,
not much
he's
better.
hella dumb.
But Yuji ain't much better. He's over here Fortnite dancing on kids. Like he knocks them out and starts Fortnite dancing over here.
Yeah, you know what? That was fine. Okay, I'm okay with him Fortnite dancing. He was right though. His acting was horrible.
It was. It
Dude, you
was.
gave away the whole plot.
It was horrible.
What are you
But
even doing over there?
what do you expect from a panda, bro?
Poor panda.
But yeah, it was definitely fun. Really, really good. I want to see more of that. So
Same. But on that note, Yuji gets an invite to see Hikari while Panda and Megami regroup.
hmm
And this scene was really cool because they're like, yeah, if you survive all to the end, you're gonna go see the boss. And he's like, okay. And so then we get to hear Megami and Panda talk, and they just start going over everything that they know. Panda is like super observant, right? He's been noticing quite a lot of things, and he's very good at detailing it,
yeah, he may be
which
dumb, but
is
he can watch shit for sure.
yes. And he also knows too to not push his luck per se,
hmm
which is a good quality. You can't risk it too much when you're dealing with something this sensitive.
Yeah, well, plus like he's not really invisible per se. Like he's very very noticeable. So it's kind of
To
hard
say
for
the
him
least.
to it's kind of hard for him to do a lot of things. There's people notice him more cuz he's a panda, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Just a little bit.
uh,
Um
so funny.
but yeah, not much happens there. Going from there, we get to the meeting. Tyler, I just want you to know this one little fact at first. I was at work.
Watching this shit.
I didn't have my headphones in, right? And so like they're talking back and forth, and all of a sudden the phone starts ringing, and it's ringing, and it's ringing, and I'm just sitting there, right?
don't
Like
you
like I'm
don't you hate
eating
that shit?
I'm eating my food. I'm like, all right, should I turn down the volume here? Like, there's like four people around on the fucking table,
They start looking
just sitting
around.
around, and I'm like, is he gonna answer the fucking phone? What's going on here?
It's like that it's like anime that like has the alarm clocks going off and they refuse to turn the alarm clock off. Like that's so annoying to me. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I was the same way though, except I was at the house. I was actually watching this last night. I was like, should I turn this down? Is it gonna wake people up? Like, cause this is very loud.
no, and I'll give it to you. It's like super annoying as well, because
Yeah.
like it's a actual phone ringing sound, you know.
Yeah, who
Um,
has phone who has their phone on loud nowadays, right?
and with that as a ringtone, dude.
Yeah,
Put
exactly.
on a regular ringtone, you fucking nerd.
Yeah, put on the last season's OP. Come on now. Get with the programs.
I'm okay with even this season's OP.
Yeah, exactly. Put on an OP. It'd be a perfect chance to use OP, interject OP into the anime. So But yeah, definitely very annoying. I kept on wondering that too. I was like, why? Like, at least like hit the red button, bro. Ignore it.
Silence it. Shut it off. Do
Send
something.
it to voicemail, man.
Um, but it turns out too, and I was really surprised at this. It was actually a warning sign.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see that. And it makes sense now, you know. So
And I'm definitely okay with that.
yeah,
How it all played out at the end. We even got to see a little bit of his power, which is the fucking thing.
door doors closing on each other like a
Yeah,
guillotine type thing.
yeah. I don't really know how to view it, but
I'm pretty sure
you
that
get it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that if it would have connected, it probably would have cut things off. So if I had to
More than
guess.
likely.
But yeah, I thought Itadori was doing a good job too, by the way, until the whole Gojo thing. And then I was like, oh shit. What an idiot. What an idiot. Megumi was right. Shouldn't have put him up there.
It's not his fault.
No, I don't know Gojo. Well, man, why not? I
Just like
gotcha.
every sorcerer knows him.
Which
You don't have
makes
to play
sense.
that dumb.
Makes sense. But yeah, it kind of went hard on the animation here too. I thought just Yuji like standing there and him like talking casually and stuff. It kind of had like a lot of frames there, so I really like to see that, especially coming from Mappa. So
Yeah, nice full completed animation episodes.
yeah, it kind of reminded me of like that Garp scene in One Piece where we got like the smallest details being animated to the most, you know, but not on that level. Like 60% of that. So I like it.
Your favorite One Piece stuff. The minor details. um
Picking up the coffee, man.
but yeah, so that was it for that episode. Akari's ready to kick his ass.
Hell yeah.
You got
Great,
anything
great
else
ending.
for it?
No, no. And that was a pretty good episode, especially the Fight Club stuff. So it ended at a real good time too. So I thought.
Yes. Sorry guys, I got some of my playing cards here I've been going through while we've been chatting it up. um I finally brought them all home from work is what it is.
There you go.
But anyways, from there, episode 6, Hog. You know,
Cog.
like those things in machines.
Yeah, the wheel cogs.
Yeah.
I thought when I seen this, I was like, what? What? What kind of title is this shit? But it makes sense now.
It was strange, yeah, but by the end of it, you guys will believe in it too.
Exactly.
Um so we go back a little bit in time, and this is actually just as Kirara is about to call Hikari. We see Megami and Panda infiltrate, and they're looking for him. But that's when they find her. She finds them, and then she calls.
Yeah. What does she say? Like what does she call Megumi? Is it like pineapple head or something?
I can't remember. She said so many things about spiky hair.
Yeah, I like it. She was like, "Oh, I know him. He's the same dude that was with that one dude. Oh, it's probably they're probably from all from JJ, you know, Jujutsu High. I should probably warn him." I thought that was, you know, a pretty interesting turn of events because she wasn't supposed to be there apparently. So, or according to them.
They didn't want her there, is
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise. Let's just say that.
Yes. Um, but anyways, the two of them, they try to negotiate with her, and Megami also begins to try to figure out her abilities.
He's smart.
He's really smart.
He's gonna
This is
try.
one of the this is one of the areas where Megami really excels because he's just got everything so well locked down in regards to her abilities. Like he's got it all figured out
Mm-hmm.
without even realizing it yet at this point. Um so she's able to do a lot of like attractability and deflection. Like they can't get close to her. They can't get close to the door. And so the two of them start hypothesizing, and he ends up actually bluffing her into revealing what her ability is and what constellation it's based off of.
Yeah. Who would have thought that a curse technique was going to be based off constellations and stars and shit? Not me. I'm glad that somebody was smarter than me to inform us because I wouldn't have never got this.
They literally tell you, Tyler.
I know, but like if I had to figure it out by myself by just looking at the names that was written on them with the star symbol beside it or whatever, like
Oh, yeah.
you count me out. I didn't know those were stars. So unless it's a little dipper and a big dipper or whatever, I don't know.
Those aren't even stars.
They're constellations.
That doesn't make them stars.
Well, it's a group of stars. The same thing.
Yes. No.
If it's not the sun, I don't know
Oh
it.
my god. Okay, so anyways, but yeah, so he ends up figuring it out, and they start going back and forth, just kind of in their discussion phase right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they even reveal too. They're like, Gojo's sealed.
Yeah, and she didn't know about it. Like, how do you not know about that, Nam? As a sorcerer in the world, especially from Jujutsu High, how do you not know about that by now? I feel like everyone should know.
Honestly, but it could be too that they're not really like trying to spread that word.
Well, they even asked. They even asked, are you current with the events that's happened or the current Japan or whatever?" Right? And she said yes. But I feel like if she knows about like the games and stuff, she would know about Gojo. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of hard to, you know, believe. But I mean, they don't know apparently. So
They don't. Um, but now Kirara acts as Megami tries his theory. Teamwork here.
mm-hmm. Hella teamwork.
Uh, dude can sense cursed energy. Do you notice that like Megami was like literally sensing out fucking cursed energy? How broken are you, dude?
I mean, he's literally like
What can't you do?
he's freaking like Sasuke, man. Like
Dude,
he's
he shits on
yeah,
Sasuke.
that's what I'm saying. Like he's literally like, like Itadori is supposed to be like the main dude here, right? Kind of like Naruto was. That's the way I've always looked at it. And like Megumi is kind of like Sasuke. He kind of looks like him too in a way, except he has more spikes in his hair. Uh, but I feel like it's the same like dynamic kind of where like he's just so OP, but he's not as OP as Yuji because of Sukuna, obviously. Um, so I don't really. I'm not surprised that he is, more OP than I thought he was, because it's what I expect. You know what I mean?
I mean,
give
I
give
wouldn't
give
expect it that much, honestly.
give the man the freaking what's it called the eyes that Neji had, was it Renegons?
Oh god.
That's basically what he's got, right?
No. Not at all. Jesus, Tyler. All
start
right.
start seeing the chakra flowing, bro.
Let's move on.
I got my Naruto shirt on, by the way.
Of course you do. um, but anyways, Megami wins in epic fashion. Hikari punches Yuji out of the room.
Yeah. Awesome.
And this scene was really cool too because despite the fact that he won, right? Like he did it in the most devious way. He had his wolf spirit hiding behind a wall,
Mhm.
and as soon as she reversed the polarities and the stars on things, he instantly had it jump from around the wall, and then he jumped through that windshield and landed in the back seat as all those things like pelted into the car.
Dude, like I said, dude's smart as hell. Like
That was fucking
he's 10 steps ahead, Nom. All
10 steps.
times.
Dude, that was 25 steps ahead. Are you kidding me?
It's insane, actually. It's
And then
insane.
instead of even like finishing the fight, he literally gets down, bows to her, and begs her to listen.
I think that's what sold her. Like, hey, like, I'm not here to hurt you. I just want help. Like we've been asking this whole time. And I just want to say, meanwhile, Panda, he's just been chilling this whole time, except for a couple of different things. So I just want to make that known that Panda literally had almost zero to do with this whole. It was all Megumi. So
Yep. Um, but anyways, yeah, like I said, Hikari punches Yuji out of the room. Yuji tells him to stay out of it. And this is where we get to where Hikari asks to see Yuji's passion. Yuji calls himself a cog.
hmm which
Go
I
ahead, Tyler.
I can see I can see like that being Yuji's mindset now because like after he killed all those people or Sukuna killed all those people, like that's his that's his like life's goal now, right? So is to eliminate cursed beings and like rid the world of like that stuff. So I can see how he's that dedicated, that loyal to the mission now. So it takes a
Yep.
lot to stand there and take those punches.
Yeah, he took three of them
Yeah.
directly to the face.
Yeah. And
It's pretty brutal.
old UG would never do that. He would have lost his
No,
temper and, probably fought back. So like this is a new UG we're looking at and I like it. So it shows that he's, grown up, become more experienced, matured even. So kind of badass.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. Um, from there, though, Hikari decides to make a deal with the three, and a new rule is added to the calling games. A player may view all information related to a player of the game.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tyler.
It was pretty surprising to get a new rule right then and there. 'Cause I didn't expect it. And then we go to this dude that we had. I haven't ever seen him. Have we seen this dude before, Nam?
I've never seen him before.
Yeah, so we've never seen this dude before, and apparently he's the one that's made this rule. He's already got 200 points already, and like the system was like, "Hey, you got 200 points. Do you want to make a rule?" And he was like, Yeah, let's make a rule. I want to be able to see how many points someone has and how many rules that they've made and also what clan they're from. And basically the point to doing all this is that way he can find out who's the strongest one because he hates running into the weaklings and he wants to fight someone strong. I love people like that, especially in a show like this. I love people like that. Kenpachi's one of my favorite characters, and he's got the same mindset, mentality. Plus, this dude's like 400 plus years old. Apparently, is what I got out of it because, like, apparently, like from based on what he said, that he was around the last time this happened 400 years ago. So, and he said that it was more fun back then. And he's also wondering like where Sukuna is this time because I guess Sukuna was fun back then. I don't know. Oh, so you have any thoughts on this new dude? We even learned a name too. Like I forget what it is though. It's like Hajime or some shit. I don't know.
I can't remember, but I know it was definitely a very interesting. I think yeah, he was probably around during a time when well no, because Sukuna I think was around during I guess it all depends because like if Sukuna was around in times other than when he originally existed, right? Because people ate his finger, that might be different.
Yeah, I don't know. He brought up he said something along the lines, this was more fun 400 years ago or something like that. So it was odd. I feel like that's a like a clue or something. So
Yeah, it's strange, but I don't know. He could be
um I honestly think that he's gonna run into Utah. He's gonna, this new rule, he's gonna be able to see like who's the strongest. I think he's gonna like target Utah because I think Utah's gonna be one of the stronger ones um out there right now, probably. It's got the more points. So what do you think?
yeah. Yeah, no, I think that that's gonna be one of the first things that he's probably gonna do is try and find Utah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see, but like I'm really curious to see if they actually run into each other and how it like that's gonna be a hell of a fight. I ain't gonna like it's gonna be good, It's gonna be really good. So but who knows if we'll see it this season? Because this is only part one apparently. So there's a part two. And we all know part twos usually go crazy. And part ones is usually more the setup. So
For sure. Um, anything else you got for
n-
that?
no, Panda go hard or not.
And to go hard.
Whatever to say is. Uh but yeah, I guess if we don't have anything else, we can move on to Hell's Paradise season 2. Um we're going to get started on episode 4. It's called The Samurai Code and Carnage. And basically, we start this one off, and we seen last episode like there was a bunch of people pulling up to the island or whatever. We kind of got to look into like what that party consists of this time, and apparently it's really strong. It's strong as hell. Actually, it's gonna have like four Yamada executioners, from the Yamada clan. Like I said, it's gonna have four ninja. I'm pretty sure it's from are those ninjas from the same clan as Gabi Maru? I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes, they are.
I I almost wrote down the name. It's like Iwa Kagura or something.
Yep.
Some kind of crazy name. I didn't write it
That is
down because
actually
yeah. Um, and also 50 Guinea, which is like the subordinates, like the lower ninjas or whatever. They still got skill, but like they're not like full fledged, like Gabi Maru and these four ninja, that are the leader type figures. Um, and those four people, the four ninjas, they look scary as hell. I'm kind of scared of them, and I was looking at them through the screen.
yeah, no, they definitely did not give a very welcoming kind of look.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah, it was very menacing, especially with mask on. There's one big dude. Um I don't think we've seen him much of him yet, so but but they kind of wanted to I feel like they kind of wanted to set the tone from the start, from the get-go, because like one of the ninja leaders, he was talking to like the young master, like the youngest Yamada clan member. And it's like, our loyalty um is, requires us to do whatever y'all tell us to do, basically. And we will even like kill ourselves if we're ordered to or whatever. And the young master's just like, prove it, show me.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, coward.
And he actually did. Like, this dude, I'm assuming it was the leader of the ninjas, and like he turned around and was like, you're in charge, like it's up to you now, to lead, to complete the objective or whatever. And then like slides his freaking, sword into his like neck, side of his neck, while he's sinking, and just starts like sawing away at his neck while he's still singing until he fell over. And I'm just like, man, that has to be one of the like most brutal things I've seen in anime, right?
I would say, yeah.
Like that was crazy to watch. I was like, I had my mouth open. I was just like, what am I watching? I like it. This is what I watch this shit for.
It was pretty messed up, but like, yeah,
Yeah, it was a pretty cool moment to show just what kind of what Hell's Paradise is about, you know.
yeah. I mean, not to mention too, to show the dedication of those guys,
Yeah.
because that was the one thing that they had always bragged about was like how dedicated they are,
Yeah.
and this was the best way to show it.
Yeah, especially to like a young, none of the other masters, the Yamada clan or whatever, they didn't want that to happen, but it's a kid, man. Like it's a sick, like twisted mind kid. Like he's just like, oh, let's tell him to do it. Let's see if he does it, and he did it. So just in a gruesome way. So, but next thing we really talk about in this episode is like the objectives of each person, all right? So like the ninja's main objective is to actually find Gabi Maru and kill him. Because like the head of the ninja clan, they want Gabi Maru dead. I don't know if it's been said the reason why yet, but like he wants him dead. He doesn't want him back alive. So, um, the Yamada clan's main goal is to actually find the elixir and rescue all their clan members and get them home safely. Um, and Sagiri thinks that Shugen and all of them will actually be their allies when they get there, because like she kind of looks up to him and she thinks a lot of him, and I don't think that that's going to go as well as she thinks it's going to go, because like Shugen, which is like the leader of the Yamada clan on this party anyways, he basically wants to kill any criminal that he sees. And now, since he's arrived, he's found the body of Aizen, which is one of his clan members, who also means a lot to him because, like, he helped him with his sword and stuff. He finds him dead, and so now he's really pissed off. Um, Also, fun fact, he's also a dude that killed a whole clan. Women, kids, old people, everything, just because he didn't want any chance of it, of like the evil from one dude or whatever, like a couple dudes, the leader, to reignite. That's the type of person Sakura is dealing with. I don't think she understands that, but thankfully, like the blind dude, he kind of gets it. He knows what's up. He's like, no, I don't think we should, try to stick around. We shouldn't try to find out. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, you think they have a shot at being allies, Tom?
With the new guys, definitely not. And he's made it very, very apparent from the very beginning. He's like, no allies, everyone's dying except for Asaman.
Yeah.
Death to everything else.
And even the blind dude, I forget his name, but the blind dude, he's like, he probably wouldn't have any like hard feelings about killing us too if we decide to side with, you know, villains. So, like he
Yeah.
would cut ties and kill too. So, but yeah,
Yep.
I thought it was pretty. I thought they done a pretty good job at showing that, showing what he was, how he acted, what his personality was and stuff. So, leading up to that. But
Yeah, for sure.
then we actually get to see how strong they are because like a group of monsters they stormed a beach and they started attacking Shugen's group, and he was actually like praying or doing his ritual or whatever, like mourning his friend that he found dead. And I thought this was a really cool way of showing just how strong they was, like all of them individually, because like the little boy he's kind of like a badass, like he's got some moves even though he's so young, and like Shugen as well, you kind of see just how cruel he actually is. He like damages, like he puts like chips his blade because he wants everyone that he kills to be in as much pain as possible for as long as possible. That's just the type of person he is. We also get to see like how the ninjas work and the Ginning work and how they work together and stuff. I thought it was a really cool way to show um just how everything meshed together as far as their teamwork and their abilities and stuff. So
Yeah, no, and just like the way how everything really started to blend together there too at the end, like they really don't need the ninjas at all.
yeah,
Um, but it was also really cool to see the ninjas actually do work as well and take down as much as they did.
yeah. Even though it took them, they're not as strong as the Yamada clan, but they are, um, in their own way, and they proved it. Uh, so it's pretty cool to see that. And then we also go to Gabby Maru and Company, and they're kind of having like a little strategy meeting. And we learn a little bit more about Tau. We've learned that there's like varieties, like different types of Tau. Wood, water, fire, metal, and earth. Um, Now we actually learned that it's kind of like Pokemon, right? Like each element or like type is actually weakened or strengthened by other types. So when you're fighting a disadvantage, obviously you don't have a chance because you're at a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
You already started at a disadvantage, but then you add more of a disadvantage by fighting against your top or fighting against your weakness. But also on the same thing, if you was to fight a Tensen that was weak against you, you have a better chance of killing it than normally. Like if you just fought 1v1 normal, like you have a very good chance of killing it just because your top is its weakness. So I thought that was pretty cool. It kind of gives them a way to I guess match up if they wanted to, So but they
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it really creates a good power dynamic that we haven't actually seen yet up to this point. Um, because all we've really learned about is Tau exists. They're
Tension are
able to start
strong.
seeing it and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but there was never really a clear way on how they can go about trying to, turn the tide in their favor, other than just, ganging up multiples on one Tencent.
Yeah. Um, so it's good to know this stuff. Like they actually broke it down and told us like all the heroes, Gabby Maru's group or whatever, they actually told us like all their tops. They broke it down and told us all that. They also May was there to tell them all the Tenzin tops. So like they have all the information that they need. Now they just have to put it out there. Like they have to make use of it, kind of. So, um, but that's pretty much all that happened in the first episode or the fourth episode, I may say. Do you have anything else to talk about this episode?
No.
All right. I mean, not a lot happened. It was basically set up.
Yep.
Uh, so now we got episode 5 called Humans and Sages. And like I said, quick rundown on the plan. They've updated it a little bit. We know that they was gonna split into two groups, but Gabby Maru has a group and he's gonna go try to find the elixir. and the other group that's not in Gabby Mari's group will go and try to secure a boat and their way out of the palace, because apparently there's a way like in the palace that has a boat and the monsters won't attack it when you leave. So that's pretty cool to find out. Thankfully May, gave them all this information. So she's like the MVP of the whole plan, because they wouldn't be able to get this far without May. So um speaking of May, they also figure out that they need to strike at nighttime, because that's when the Tencent are at their weakest, because that's when flowers close, and they're like flowers basically. So they're
Yeah.
preparing to attack that night, which is pretty cool too. So it's really fast. But
I'm more impressed with the fact of like how much they're tying in this whole flower tie-in,
yeah,
because we already learned at one point like all they are just flower and human Tao mixed together, right? That's why they can't produce their own, because they're not actually people.
yeah,
Um, so to see them really leaning into that whole their flowers, they can't really exist at night. So that's when they shut down and stop for everything and just kind of rest.
yeah.
I
Except
thought that was actually a really cool tie-in as well.
Yeah, except for like the Tencent, they're not totally flowers, so they don't actually like they're supposed to be resting or whatever, but they don't necessarily they're not forced to do that. They're just weaker
Yeah,
at that time, because they are I don't know the percentage, but they are like a human flower hybrid or whatever. So or like a god flower hybrid. I don't know, something like that. They're a flower hybrid or some sort. So they follow the flower rules to some extent. So it is pretty cool, to see that. Um, and like I said, May, like May literally gives us all this information. Like like she's literally the MVP. Uh, but they end up hosting like a little mini training arc or whatever to actually prepare themselves for like that the raid, I guess you can say, because it's going to happen so quick. So they got to figure out like who fits the best for like each role. And even if you go into the other role trying to find a boat or whatever, you still have to be somewhat sufficient at concealing yourself, which none of them was able to do except for a couple of them. So Yuzahara and Gabi Maru was trying to teach the class how to like conceal themselves to the best of their abilities. And I was thinking this whole time, I was like, I just absolutely know that Dan would have loved to be here to talk about teacher Yuzihara. He would have loved it. Um, I feel like he's about like the dragon guy. They're trying to teach him how to conceal himself, and like he just cannot concentrate because he's staring at Yuzihara. You know,
yeah.
so which is pretty funny. Um, Then we actually go to the palace. We finally get to check in on Chobe. And they're kind of doing some sort of ritual. And then they go and see the Bonko flower, which is kind of the biggest flower that like allows them to process, like refine like large amounts of ton at one time. Because like they have so many, this allows them to do it much faster. Um, and it turns out that the one tense, and I forgot the name. Is it Rian? Rian? Is that
Something like that, Rain.
is that the one that's got Chobe, right? I'm pretty
I can't
sure.
remember
I,
who they
I
are.
get the Tenson mixed up. But one of them's got Chobe and is studying them, and I'm pretty sure it's the Rian Tenson. So, uh, but they are trying to convince Chobe to let them experiment, like study. They want to study Chobe's body because like he's such a unique a case, and she gets him to agree to it, because with the like she pitches it like you won't die because you'll regenerate, you'll be fine, but you also strengthen your towel during this time too because of the whole process. And so he's like, let's do it, let's get this shit done. So I didn't think he would agree to it because I thought it was like pretty crazy things to agree to, but like he's all about that towel. He wants to get that towel up. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so nighttime has come. Everything like they start their raid. They start infiltrating the palace. Everything seems to be going as planned. Gabi, Mari, Yuzahara, Sagiri, and May, they're the team that's supposed to be finding the elixir, and they're actually searching with their eyes and stuff. They seem to have found the elixir or the place that where they think it would be based on the towel or that they see. But they go to that place. They finally make it there and they open the door, and yeah, it was too good to be true, Nam. And that's kind of what I was thinking this whole time is like this shit's kind of too easy, man. Like something's cooking, like something's going on. Like it shouldn't be this easy. And like I thought that they would run into some sort of trap or like inconvenience, and they did. And all I could think about was like they're totally cooked right now. What did you think with this whole like leading up to them going into the elixir room or whatever?
They really foreshadowed it. Because they kept saying how if they run into Tenson, not to fight them. If they do, it's over. They can't get caught. They got to get away.
Yeah.
And then they run into one.
Yeah. And he was actually concealing himself too. Um and it was a pretty big surprise to me that he was there. Uh because at the time I thought that maybe that they was all asleep or something like Nam was talking about, but apparently they can be awake. It's just that they're weakened at nighttime. They're not as strong as usual. Um,
Yep.
so it's very surprising to see him there. Like, how did he know? Well, apparently it turns out that Chobe ratted them out. He was like, "Yeah, let me throw them under the bus real quick. Let me tell them what's about to happen. They're getting ready to come here, so y'all should be ready for it or whatever." So, shout out to him, I guess. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what's next? Because, like, how do they get out of this? Gabby Maru said that their plan would fail if they ended up fighting the Tenson, and he was like, run away, or don't fight them, run away or whatever. But like, they're in such a predicament right now because like they was led into a trap that I don't think they have any choice but to fight. Do you?
They definitely don't stand as good of a chance at this point. That's for sure.
Yeah. You think they're gonna have to fight though?
Oh yeah, there's no way they can't.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way out of this besides fighting. And you would assume that maybe they know about the top advantages and weaknesses and stuff too. And they probably kind of figured out who was going to be where and probably set it up. Would you think?
I think that would be a pretty good assumption.
Yeah. So but I think that being at nighttime too, though, it probably helps out like Gabby Maru and company. Like even if they was to fight against their weakness, tension wise, um, I think it would kind of average out because the tension will be weaker at this moment, whereas Gabby Maru and company are still normal. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Um, I think things are heating up a lot though. And to end the episode, we cut we cut back to see Chobe, and he's not looking too good. he's got one arm chained up on the wall, and I think half his body is missing. So, is he gonna make it?
Man, it's really not looking good for him. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, so I don't know about him. I assume he will make it, but man, he's not looking good at all. Like he looks so bad right now. So but that's pretty much it for this episode though. Like we didn't have too much going on in Hell's Paradise. A lot of setup. I feel like the next couple episodes is gonna be a lot of action. It has to be unless they go somewhere else or some shit. You know, hit us with a swerve. Um but yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No,
Alrighty,
no, I
perfect.
think you nailed it quite well.
Alrighty. Well, that is gonna be it for the winter rundown, episode 157. Like I said, next week it should be we should be doing the DGs next week unless something comes up. And we have to reschedule again. But we will eventually get it out if that does happen. But hopefully y'all get to see it next week. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you get your votes in. You only got a few more days if we do record next week. So linktree.com/anime degens. It's on all the socials. It's in the Discord. If you can't find it, just DM me or somebody. And they'll be more likely more than uh they'll help you. I don't know what to say, I guess.
We'll be able to
Yeah.
find a link for
Yeah.
you
They
and
will
that you can click on and go vote with.
yeah. Somebody will help you. But with that being said, we will see you next week sometime. Peace.
Later.